I finally have a study to share with you guys talking about why calorie counting is not necessary on a GLP-1. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel for another video today, or welcome if you're new. My name's Brittany. I've lost 115 pounds on a GLP-1 over the course of almost 3 years. It'll be 3 years in November. And here on my channel, I share everything from basic wellness and health tips to your stories. I do an interview series here. I share news stories, anything that is going on in the GLP-1 space. I try to talk about here, and just offering general support to everybody that is on a GLP-1 journey or a weight loss or a wellness journey, allowing space for you to be met where you're at in your journey. That is what I offer here. So if you are interested in any of that, please hit that subscribe button, leave me a comment. It helps me out a lot. Every single time you guys comment helps me so much. So let's go ahead and jump into it, because I feel like this one's going to be a doozy. So if you have not caught my videos over the past, I don't know, like 3 years, then maybe you don't know that I don't count calories. And I have not counted a single calorie in the entire 3 years that I have been on a GLP-1. Have I counted calories before and tortured myself with that restriction? Yes, of course, we all have, right? But I've not done it in the past 3 years. And I've talked quite openly about that fact here on my channel, about how I don't agree with calorie counting and how it just does not really benefit anybody long term. How is anybody going to count calories for their whole life? All of that, I've said it. And it's usually met with one of two things. People really agree and that's what they're striving for in their life, or they really do not agree and they think that structure and restriction and knowing and balance and all of that is just necessary on their journey. I have never had any type of like real data proof to back up what I'm saying though. So it's always just been this is what I personally do. You do it if you want to, but it works for me type of thing. But now I have actual data. I'm so excited to share this with you guys. So before we jump into the actual data, please know that I am not a healthcare provider. Please always talk to your healthcare provider about anything regarding your own health, your own dosage, your own medication strategy, anything like that. Please stay safe and talk to your own healthcare provider, and don't trust everything that you see on the internet, whether it's from me or somebody else. Okay, now, first things first, how did I suddenly have access to this study and why is it not everywhere, right? So this study is actually one that one of my PA friends sent me. She is a fellow affiliate with Orderly, and so we talk a lot of the affiliates with Orderly are PAs or like mid-level providers. And so we'll talk a lot, they'll share news articles and studies. And this is one that she had shared. So it's actually one that is published in a journal that is for healthcare professionals and like the average person wouldn't know to look for or wouldn't have access to. I am gonna link this study down below so that you can read it if you are interested in it. It is like smart, right? So it's not like a Reuters article that they make very easy and friendly to read. It is like knowledge. Okay, so just saying that before you jump in and try to read it. I had to read it a few times to really be able to wrap my head around exactly what it was saying, as well as reach out to her and ask her a couple questions, all of that. So just the forewarning there, but it will be linked down below. And also it kind of allowed me access to a lot of other things on that website just by knowing about it. So I thought that it was really cool, and I'm thankful that she sent it to me. Now, this study that I'm so excited to share with you, what it did is it looked at mice. There was a large group of mice that were obese through like them making them obese essentially, right? So they overfed these mice, they made it so that they were in the obese category, and they took this large group of mice and they broke them into two different groups, okay? One group got semaglutide, one group got nothing. Now, what they did not change is their caloric needs or what they were being offered calorically. So both groups were kept at the exact same meals, the exact same portion sizes, the exact same offerings every single time. Every meal over the course of the entire study, they did not lower the calories of the mice that were on semaglutide. They studied these mice for 4 weeks, and at the end of the 4 weeks, the mice that were on semaglutide lost body fat mass. They lost weight, they lost body fat mass, having eaten the exact same thing that the mice that were not on semaglutide ate over the course of 4 weeks. Now, You could go, oh, well, hey, they lost muscle mass. That's what this is, right? Actually, they didn't. So they were able to also test skeletal muscle mass at the beginning of the study and after the 4-week study period was over. And the muscle mass loss between both groups was the exact same. There was no significant muscle mass loss between either group. And again, they were on a higher caloric diet across the board. So what this does is actually shows us that the GLP-1 itself is not what causes muscle mass. And there's a lot of people that say that, but it gets hidden in the media telling you that being on a GLP-1 is going to make you lose all your muscle. That's actually not what happens. The GLP-1 is not responsible directly for causing your muscle mass loss. The muscle mass loss comes from caloric restriction. Significant caloric restriction over a long period of time leading to fast weight loss is what ultimately causes muscle mass loss. So I thought that was a good little study, a good little caveat to that they threw in there, that they said, hey, even if people want to come back and say they just lost muscle mass because they were on semaglutide, they can also disprove that with their findings. So what I found, and I want to be really careful talking about this, and I meant to say this in the beginning of the video, I'm not coming on here and saying that you can eat McDonald's 3 times a day or go to Chick-fil-A every day, Taco Bell, eating all of the crap all of the time and still be as successful as somebody who watches what they eat, not necessarily counting, but something like more of what I do, watching what they eat, trying to make healthy choices, choosing high protein options, and have the same results as that person. But it also doesn't mean that you would have no results by doing that. And that is where the sort of caveat to this whole thing is, right? Is that there are several different ways to do this. And yes, as this study shows, you can simply take the medicine and change nothing else about your diet and still lose body fat. Now, why? Why is that a thing? Why is that happening, right? Ultimately, it's all in how the GLP-1 works in the body, specifically on how it works within the metabolism and within insulin. So those of us with insulin sensitivity, which new data shows that it's a large portion of us have some type of insulin sensitivity, especially women as they enter perimenopause and menopause stages of life, that sort of midlife area, most of us have some type of insulin resistance. So when you add the GLP-1 into your plan, what you do is you allow the chance for your body to process insulin in the way that it needs to be processed, which leads to how your body stores energy changing, which leads to your metabolism overall shifting. Insulin, as we are becoming more and more aware of, since the GLP-1 has really taken off, is that insulin plays such a vital role in so many different areas in our body, but especially in metabolism and energy storing and fat storing and all of that. So what you're doing is you're allowing your insulin to be used and produced and utilized the best way that it can by your body. And so what your body is storing in terms of energy, what it is burning in terms of energy, just sort of naturally shifts. It's a correction that the GLP-1 is making within the body without you having to change anything, okay? Now, again, I'm not saying don't do anything healthy and just live your life and eat burgers all the time, because you know what that's going to do is make it a very unpleasant experience for you, right? If you are somebody that goes and eats a bunch of crap and eats donuts and cakes and cookies and doesn't change your eating habit, like my doctor, I remember the first time that he gave me Mounjaro, he said, you need to try to eat healthier, try to make better choices. And if you don't, and if you mess up, you're going to know it real quick and you won't do it again. And that is true. At least it was for me. When I really sat back and listened to my body and how it was responding with the GLP-1 to things that I was eating, that was where the correction happened with me. It wasn't in counting calories. It wasn't in restricting certain foods or by cutting out entire food groups. It was through trial and error, trying to eat a piece of cake at a birthday party and having my body say, we can't do that anymore. Learning through the process of messing up. And I know a lot of people don't want to do that, right? So they're just like, I'm just going to avoid that entire thing. But I think if we're looking at truly healing our relationship with food and truly evolving in our relationship so that it evolves into a sustainable practice that we can do for the rest of our lives, trial and error is how humans learn, we do something, we make a mistake, we do it differently the next time. And so if you take the point of GLP-1, it's the same exact thing. So while this study is saying, yes, you can eat what you want, you could still kind of lose weight, what it's also saying on a deeper level is that we should allow our bodies the chance to self-correct. And that is something that we've never allowed our bodies to do. You know, every other time that we've lost weight or done a diet or whatever, we have restricted. Think of dieting in general. You restrict, you over-exercise, you under-eat, you don't eat dairy, you don't eat carbs, you don't eat all of the things, right? What the GLP-1 is telling us through studies, this study and studies like it, is that we need to allow our bodies the chance to self-correct. And for the most part, they will do so. There are a lot of really good PAs on TikTok that will that kind of share this side of things, this whole, you don't need to overdo the calorie counting, you don't need to over restrict, you don't need to do diet culture type things. And I will link a few of them below if you want to check some of them out that are professionals within the space that are speaking about this. But, you know, while it's important to say, don't go out and eat a bunch of cheeseburgers, it's also important to say, go out and eat a cheeseburger so you can find out how your body should have responded to cheeseburgers forever and like a lot of fatty foods and a lot of crap, so that you can then say, my healed, functioning body does not need this. And the reason that I needed it before was because I was unbalanced and I didn't know, I thought that that's what I needed. The craving of the fat and the sugar and the grease was what I thought I needed to satisfy my body, but really it needed this GLP-1 to balance me. And now I can do away with all of that stuff. And that is how I try to think of it every single day. Like sometimes I may want to eat a donut. I mean, there are times where I'm like, oh, that donut looks good. But 9 times out of 10, I'm not choosing to eat that donut because my body is balanced and because I can say, I remember what happened the last time I ate that donut, and so I'm not going to eat it again. Okay. So if I want you to take away one thing from this video, it's not me coming on here and saying, I told you so. This is what this study says. That's not what this is. What I want you to take away from this is, and what I've been trying to get across in my videos recently, and you know, this is how I've been the whole 3 years. It's just been difficult to find your voice in a world that is so heavily focused on diet culture and that wants you engulfed in it all the time, forever and ever, because they make money off of it, because they keep us sick off of it, and because they keep us in the cycle of coerciveness and not knowing and all of that. So it's not to come on here and say you don't need to count any calorie that ever goes in your mouth, and you don't need to watch what you eat. It's for you to sit back, evaluate, write a journal entry down about how you're feeling about it, and then allow your body the space and the time to naturally heal itself, because it will do that. And the only way to do that, you can't do it through restrictive eating. It won't work. I mean, because you're not allowing yourself to mess up. The only way you could do it is to allow yourself the grace to mess up, self-correct, and do something differently the next time. We're so scared of messing up. We're so scared of gaining weight. We're so scared of failing this too, that a lot of us don't want to do that. But I will say that the most enjoyable part of my GLP-1 journey was after I got over the initial like high of losing a ton of weight, which was probably 6 months in. After that, I kind of got to this like normal, you know, not trying so hard, living life, just kind of settled in. And it's been great ever since then. I allowed myself the chance to heal, and my body did it. Your body, in terms of weight loss, in terms of mental health, your body has a really good way of keeping itself balanced at homeostasis. And yes, there are things that we, you know, obviously we needed the GLP-1, whatever. But if you truly listen to your body, it does a really good job of telling you what it needs. And I am going to leave that at that. If you want to check out this study, I am going to link it below. I'm telling you, it was so good and so like just reassuring and eye-opening to me that I have been saying the right thing, that it's not something that just worked for me and won't work for anybody else. And really opened my eyes in more ways that I can support you guys. So definitely check that out. I will link below a couple of TikTok accounts that I really like as well if you are over there on TikTok. And I will see you guys tomorrow for another What I Eat in a Day. I'm actually going to be filming it Tuesday as you guys are watching this video. I'm going to be filming it, and yeah, I have some fun meals planned, but just that whole like maintenance, balance lifestyle is what we're going for. And so that's going to definitely transfer to the what I eat in a day, is more like being true and balanced and listening to my body type of thing. So stay tuned for that and some other great content coming this week. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. As always, let me know what your thoughts are regarding this video, and I will see you tomorrow. Have a great day, guys. Bye.